Skill triumphs. I swear, if this person's running a bunch of Charmers, I'm gonna be mad. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I have a really solid Ultra League line for you all. This line has carried me up to the 3400s and onto the leaderboard. I actually did mention this line on the podcast I host with Zionic, so if you haven't checked that out yet, feel free to check it out so that you get kind of a sneak peek on some of the lines I've been working on. To emphasize how good this line is, I actually haven't gone a single negative set since Ultra League came back around. So the line is Umbreon with Escavalier and Melmetal in the back. This is actually a line that I came up with in the first half of the season, but by the time I kind of figured out how it worked, we were already rotating to Holiday Cup, so I decided to release it at a later date, which is now. And I want to test run it a little bit after the Rock Slide nerf, and it still holds up quite well. Getting into the matches here. So Giratina, a very common lead, a very common Pokemon you see in Open Ultra League. And so my opponent actually swaps into Escavalier. And Escavalier obviously checks the backline or mirrors the backline pretty well. So what I'm going to do is absorb the energy right here first, and it's going to be an Acid Spray. So I knew that it couldn't have been a Mega Horn based on how quick my opponent charged up to it. So I figured it was probably just going to be a Drill Run, but Acid Spray works out even better because I take very little damage from it and I can swap right out. I'm going to farm this Escavalier all the way down, and this is really good because these Drill Runs actually do hurt the Giratina a little bit. Obviously the counters are resisted quite a bit, but this pretty much means that the Giratina cannot really farm much off my Umbreon, and I'm in a very good spot now. And it's actually a Shadow Call Giratina too, so even better because it's doing very little damage with it. And then they actually bring in a Melmetal. So maybe it was better if I waited for them to throw some energy first, but I'm going to let them throw the Superpower first, and then now I'm going to have to shield. I was kind of expecting a Rock Slide, but now I could just go Superpower, and they're super debuffed at this point, so each of my Superpowers are going to do a lot of damage. If my opponent does choose to shield correctly, I'm just going to keep throwing these Superpowers. We're on even shields, and I'm going to shield this one as well. I'm kind of anticipating a swap soon, so I'm getting ready for it, and then here comes the Giratina, and then we're going to throw my Foul Play right here. I do have a Superpower ready, but the kind of tricky part is if they build up to a Superpower after they take my Umbreon, they can take me out if they have CMP. So at this point, I need to just spam out these Foul Plays. These Foul Plays will really come in handy because they're not in Superpower range right now, but once these Foul Plays start chugging away this Melmetal, they pretty much have to throw it right now or else they get taken out by a Foul Play. So I'm actually going to swap straight to my Melmetal in case my Umbreon survives it, which it does. And this way I could get off the Superpower before they have time to charge up to another one. Yeah, Giratina leads really solid for this line. It's such a beast in Ultra League Open, but Umbreon is one of the few things that actually walls it off very well. I guess some Charmers do as well, but the bulk on Umbreon is just pretty much out of this world. This is a XL Umbreon, and mine currently still is not maxed out. It is 100%, but it's at level 50.5, so I still need one more power up to go. As you can see here, I'm going to chunk down the Cresselia first and then bring in my Melmetal. Because of the Rock Slide nerf, it does have kind of a bad matchup against Cresselia right now, so what I want to do is throw the Rock Slide, throw the Foul Plays first to weaken it, and then come in with my Melmetal. I am running Aerial Ace on my Escavalier, and you'll see why in some matchups with fighters later, but you pretty much need it for fighting coverage because the whole team is very weak to fighting in general, but there are quite a few ways around it. So catching that Shadow Sneak was very useful on the Umbreon. Now I can store up a bunch of energy as well. I think I'm just going to throw the Foul Play in case he decides to swap out, because I don't really want the Giratina matched up against any of my back mons. So right here, my opponent actually comes with Swampert. Swampert is definitely a threat to the backline as well. Escavalier is okay against it, especially if they don't land an Earthquake, but you definitely want the Umbreon to take it out if possible. So I'm going to bring in my Escavalier just so that they dump some energy off on me, and I'm going to shield right here. And it looks like I am going to get to this Drill Run and then see if I can force a shield from them right here. I do. That's good. And at this point, I think I'm just going to counter down the Cresselia. I still have 2 months in the back, so if it comes out to a timeout, I still have play there. Luckily, it does work out perfectly that I get enough to a Drill Run and can force out the Slash Shield. Unfortunately, they still had their Giratina left, and I think I just forgot or expected Swamp to come in. But this is pretty good because now I can throw the Superpower, and as you can see, the timer's almost up. This is good because I can just wait out this clock and then win on a timeout, which is not the most glorious way to win, but it is what it is. And as you can see, I was pretty close at Foul Play too, so I don't think it would have mattered. Alright, so Cresselia leads. You want to swap out eventually here. And you'll see in the next matchup why. Fortunately, my opponent actually swaps out here themselves, so that's pretty good. I could just stay in here. So like I was saying before, my Umbreon's not fully maxed out. When I first played this line in Ultra League during the first half of the season, my Umbreon was actually only around like a level 45, 46 XL, so you could definitely play with lower levels Umbreon if possible. Obviously, the more you power it up, the better it is, right? Some of my patrons who've been playing this line for a few weeks actually mentioned that they've tried level 40 Umbreons, even that still works pretty well, so you know, feel free to give it a shot if you want. I personally would recommend maybe at least like a 45 or 46 for a cutoff. I haven't done too many sims into all the potential matchups you win and lose because of that, but that would just be my recommendation, just to ensure that you have some type of bulk on your Umbreon. Alright, so my opponent is swapping back into Cresselia. I'm just going to bring in my Melmetal. You definitely want to throw Rock Slide as soon as possible in case they throw a Moonblast at you, because if they're throwing Moonblast and you get debuffed, then that's going to be really bad if you held on to energy beforehand. So just throw those Rock Slides. Obviously, this team was much better before the Rock Slide nerf, but it still worked out quite well for me this second half of the season. To be honest, the only time... yeah, the really you'll see as you go later on, there really aren't hard counters to this team, and so that's why I was able to maintain so many positive sets with this team. Highly recommend it. Like I said before, it is a little bit more expensive for the Umbreon, but the Scav and Melmetal are much more doable because you don't have to XL them. Alright, so my opponent here is going to throw a Grass Knot, and Grass Knot does not even take out Umbreon here, so I could just finish on Foul Play. Had they gone Moonblast, I would be fine because I still have the Melmetal back, and they're going to concede the match right there. So there are ways you can win the lead against Cresselia, particularly if you don't get debuffed by Moonblast, and you don't let them sneak in too many Psycho Cuts. But the thing is, Escavalier and Melmetal have decent matchups against Cresselia, and the biggest concern is if they have a Giratina or something in the back, right? So you can see right there, it looked like I was trying to swap to my Scav. Because I got debuffed on this Umbreon already, but at this point I think I just decided to commit, knowing that I'm probably going to actually lose this matchup now because of the debuff. Had I not gotten debuffed, I should be able to win. There might be some IV dependent matchups right there, but my opponent actually does a great job of swapping out here, because now I can't farm down the Cresselia. I was going to farm the Cresselia a lot with the Melmetal. Even if they have a Swampert in the back, Swampert doesn't want to take too many superpowers from Melmetal. And then bring in Obstacle. So I'm feeling okay at this point, but it really depends on what their third mon is. And it ends up being a Swampert. So not great. Definitely not what you want to see. Had they stayed in with Cresselia, I would have been in a much better spot because I could farm up a lot of energy with my Melmetal, and I could throw superpowers at both the Obstagoon and the Swampert. So it really just depends on how they want to deal with that. So I'm going to throw right away just because I wasn't sure if they're going to hit me with an Earthquake or not. But they go Hydro Cannon right here, and that's fine. I get to another superpower, and it's definitely going to be a close match. Unfortunately, a really great catch by them. Maybe I should have swiped in those bubbles because it would give me a little bit more farm. You can see right there, I look like I'm about 2 counters away from Drill Run, but unfortunately, they still take me out. So it was a really great catch by my opponent right there. But like I said, I think the better play is to swap out eventually, drop like 2 Foul Plays, and swap to a Scav. A Scav, obviously, without Mega Horn is not as good against Cresselia, but they'll be weakened by then. And the good news is, they don't know you're not running Mega Horn. So, okay, so Shadow Machamp seems like a terrible, terrible lead, right? And they have a Granbull, so really bad. They have at least 2 direct hard counters to Umbreon. So I do bring in my Melmetal right here, and I believe I do shield this move. It is a close combo, which is good. I could just farm straight down right here. My switch timer is not up, so this is actually kind of dangerous if they bring in the Machamp right back in, and they do. So I'm going to throw these superpowers. They're going to do neutral, but Shadow Machamp luckily is on the Glacier side. I'm going to try to swap out as soon as I can right here, and I do, to my Umbreon. The reason why I swapped Umbreon in, and you can see they have double Charmers. So literally, Umbreon loses to all 3 mounts on their team. The only reason why a Machamp would probably swap out of an Umbreon lead is because they have 2 Umbreon counters in the back, which is exactly what you saw, right? So that's why I decided to swap out to Umbreon instead of a Scav right there. because I figured I was going to get rid of my Umbreon as soon as possible, just because I didn't want to be matched up with something bad in the back, which would have been a Charmer. So at this point, this puts me in a very good spot because I'm just going to counter all the way down right here. Actually, I charged with 2 moves because they don't have shield, so now I can throw the Aerial Ace right after. This is where Aerial Ace comes in handy. I think Jobron might be able to take out the Shadow Machamp at this range, but at higher health values or non-Shadow Machamp, that might not be the case. So you'd be surprised, but this team actually beats a decent amount of fighter leads. Another pseudo fighter lead, I guess. Against a Scav, you want to stay in just like Machamp, because you pretty much just want to finish it off with your own Escav afterward. And honestly, Escavalier doesn't do well against Umbreon if it doesn't land the Mega Horn. Obviously, this might be a little more bulk dependent, so you want a higher level Umbreon to pull that off. So they actually throw Acid Spray right there. That works out pretty well for me because now I can win switch with Umbreon against the Scav lead. So yeah, it's pretty shocking, but it is quite possible. And then now I bring in my Escavalier. Now I have my Melmetal against the Togekiss. This is pretty much GG's because I have perfect alignment at this point. But pretty much what I realized is a lot of people that run fighter leads or pseudo fighter leads, such as Obscure and Escavalier, they're weak to steel in the back. So the fighter is meant to counter the steals, so Escavalier and Melmetal will often have quite a bit of play in the back end. So at this point, I'm going to let the first Night Slash go, because if they get a boost, then you definitely want to shield the next 2. Now I'm going to start shielding, because they won't be able to get to 3 more Night Slashes. So I'm going to shield this one, just counter all the way down at this point. There's really not much they could do, and as you can see, you saw that counter go through, so they're going to fade out right after this. Granbull lead. Charmers aren't great, but you got 2 seals in the back. Again, I didn't have any footage from Togekiss leads from this time around. I did from the first time, but obviously the moveset changes, change things, or buffs and debuffs the moves. But if it's a Togekiss lead, you will want to still swap to Escavalier, and from there you just throw Aerial Ace. Another reason why you want Aerial Ace, because if you're running Mega Horn, the Togekiss just completely walls off the Escav. So my opponent right here double shields for some reason, and then they bring in what looks to be a Swampert. This is perfect. Get rid of the Swampert right now, so that way my Melmetal has a really great time in the back end. And this Swampert, you don't have to shield anything, even if it's an Earthquake. Earthquake is the right move at this point, and they do throw it, but no big deal. I form up just 2 more Snarls and then throw, just so I get some extra energy, and also burn up the clock a little bit. Unfortunately, the clock's not up, but it gets a last resort in time because that extra farm helped a lot. I should take out the Granbull, which is huge. And then now I bring in my Melmetal against the Regiseal. Here's the thing, don't shield the first Focus Blast. And also don't throw a Superpower. Your Melmetal will survive it unless you have like some terrible spread where it's like really chipped away. I think even bad Melmetal spreads can still survive it pretty comfortably. But the thing is, if you throw a Superpower first, that Focus Blast is going to take you out. So what you want to do is charge up to Superpowers and then throw after you get hit by Focus Blast. Tank the Focus Blast, you'll be fine. The Lock-ons will only do 1 damage. Alright, Articuno lead. Articuno does actually beat Umbreon in the long run just because of all the debuffs. So what I'd like to do here, because your Melmetal is the best counter for it, is I just chip away at it. Chip away at it with a Foul Play. I think I probably go for 2 Foul Plays here. Let's see. Yep, I go for 2 Foul Plays, and then I tank the next Icy Wind. You want to tank the move first, so that way their energy dry, and then you go in with the Scav. The Scav will hopefully force him to swap out. If not, I don't know. They must have a team really weak to fighting in the back. It turns out to be a Machamp, so obviously not great for this line, but the Escavalier does have the best matchup against fighters on this line, so you definitely want to have it. And then, as you can see, I am going to be able to force a shield right there. And then, again, here's why Aerial Ace is really good, because if you land this against fighters, it is going to be super effective. So they double shield. That's totally okay. And then they counter me all the way down. That's actually really bad. So I'm going to come in with my Umbreon right here, and then see if I could get to another move in time. And they actually bring in the Articuno. So maybe a slight misplay. They probably want to catch the Foul Play right there. I don't know if they had enough energy. I think the Foul Play would have taken him out if I got to it. But now I'm going to charge up extra energy against this Articuno. I should have 2 Rock Slides ready, and I'd rather throw the Rock Slide against the Machamp than Superpower in case they have a Mon in the back that takes me out. So I don't want to debuff myself too much here. especially because my switch timer's not up yet. And it ends up being a Scizor. So I am going to swap to my Umbreon after charging energy. Main reason behind this is because I want the Rock Slides to do as much damage as possible. They throw an Iron Head. That's totally fine, and we're going to throw 2 Rock Slides. I guess I could throw a Superpower right there too. It'd be more energy efficient, but again, if I don't take it out, then I'm in a really bad spot. So now they throw a Night Slash, and I do survive it, and still able to take it out. Kind of an interesting team, but yeah, it's a good way to play the Articuno lead. All right, Empoleon. So Empoleon is kind of a more neutral matchup against Umbreon, just because it does hit quite hard, especially the Hydro Cannons, and it's a little bit on the bulkier end for Ultra League. So what you want to do right here is swap out eventually, so weaken it and then come in with Scav. Main reason behind this, I'm not going to shield, is because if they have a Escavalier counter in the back, they're going to bring it, and this will reduce the amount of farm they can farm off it. And as you can see, it is going to be a Giratina, which is going to counter Escavalier really well. So I'm quite happy with the fact that I took the Hydro Cannon damage. That way they can't really farm too much off of me. And they throw, so we see MP right there. This is really good. They're going to take me out with a Shadow Sneak. They undercharge, obviously, just to get some extra farm. But here's where Umbreon comes in handy. You take out the Giratina so that hopefully the Melmetal has a great matchup in the back end. Take a few more Dragon Claws right here. Probably not ideal, but at this point I'm just committed to farming just a little bit more energy, just so I have a Foul Plate ready for the Empoleon. And then in comes the Togekiss. This is perfect because I still have the Melmetal, and then at this point I'm just going to Thunder Shock down the Empoleon with a bunch of energy, and they're going to concede the match. Alright, Gengar lead. Fantastic to see. Obviously, if they're running Focus Blast, not great, but you're going to definitely get to plenty of foul plays before they get to the Focus Blast. Again, so they come in with a Escavalier lead, and you want to weaken it and tank a move first, then bring in your own. Escavalier coming in later is great. So obviously the Mega Horn did a lot of damage, as you can see there, so not ideal, but I still survive and also have some play against Gengar down the road. So I shield right there, and now I have double drill runs. This is really good because I could potentially force shields from this Gengar. If they don't, then they just lose a Gengar, but drill run is going to do super effective here. So they double shield. That's perfect. You definitely want to see that. And then I get to another drill run. I guess I could shield right here, and I do. This way I ensure that I don't have to worry about the Gengar too much down the road, because it has a lot of energy. And then here comes a Giratina. Not great because my Umbreon is still quite low at the moment, and I can't get to another one. But at this point, the Giratina is weakened quite a bit, and it is a Dragon Breath Giratina, so it's doing only resisted damage to Melmetal. Shadow Claw would be a little bit more deadly, just because of the energy generation and the neutral damage from the Shadow Claws. But right here, I'm going to start throwing the Rock Slides. Again, Giratina's matchup is much worse for Melmetal now after the Rock Slide nerf, but as you can see, it still does decent against it. And yeah, I'm going able to take out the opponent right there. Alright, Alolan Muk. Alolan Muk, not a bad lead for Umbreon, just because they do have to throw their poison move to do any damage. The Dark Pulse will not do much, and there's really not much reason to shield, to be honest. I just go straight, Last Resort, no need to bait. Just keep throwing the Last Resorts at the Muk. As you can see, it's just really outbulking the Muk. Hey, what's up, kitty? So yeah, so as you can see, they're going to throw another Sludge Wave. That's totally fine. I'm going to just throw another Last Resort. Muk is pretty okay against my backline, so it's another reason why I didn't swap out to anything. And then here comes the Obstagoon. This is perfect, because now I can align my Escavalier against the Obstagoon, and I'll be in a good spot. Obviously, if they have a Swampert in the back or something, then I'm in a terrible spot, but let's see what they have. I don't shield the first one. I'm not going to shield the second one either. Let's see what they come in with. It's going to be a Charizard. So good thing I didn't shield that Escavalier, because I definitely need both shields for this Melmetal. Charizard is kind of a pain for Melmetal, but obviously if you're using Registeel, it's much worse. So I'm glad I am using Melmetal right here. You definitely need both shields here, because at this point even a Dragon Claw will pretty much almost KO me. So I need to just double shield and then get off this last Rock Slide before their switch timer's up. And I get it just in time. As you can see, our switch timers are just about to be up. And then now I can swap straight to Scav and finish off this Obstagoon. Yep. And yeah, so winning lead right there was quite crucial for that backline. Alright, Ampharos. Definitely not something you see super often, but I thought this was an interesting matchup, so I decided to put it in there. You know, Ampharos does hit quite hard, and it could carry Focus Blast, which I I don't know. In open, I'm kind of surprised that if they're running Focus Blast, because Dragon Pulse is very good against Giratinas, but you always have to respect the potential for Focus Blast. So they don't go for it first. I'm going to shield just in case of Focus Blast now, because that would KO me, and it ends up being a Focus Blast. That's perfect. I farm up extra energy. Unfortunately, I went one Snarl too far, but I know this could only be a Thunder Punch, and that's totally fine. I'm just going to throw the Foul Play right here and take it out. Let's see what they come in with. So they come in with a Snorlax. So this is okay, but the reason why I swapped to Melmetal right here is because if they came in with the Snorlax here, that probably means that they don't have a Charmer in the back, which means that they're scared of the Umbreon to a degree. And as you can see, it is a Cresselia. So I'm glad I swapped out there because, like I mentioned, my Escavalier is not running Mega Horn. So without Mega Horn, you have a much harder time dealing with Cresselia. So I figured at least I could chip away at it with my Melmetal, and the Escavalier has a great matchup with Snorlax in the back. So take me out with Grass Knots. I'm not going to shield this move right here. It ends up being another Grass Knot, which is perfect because now I actually can get to the Foul Play and hopefully force a shield. And they do shield, and this is really great for my Escavalier. I'm not going to shield this move because I don't really want to have to worry about a superpower from Snorlax. At this point, I decided to just call their bait, and they end up going just Body Slam. That's totally fine. And then now I'm going to have back-to-back drill runs charged up, and I'm going to throw this one again at the Cresselia, and they don't shield, or they do shield, but I do get to another drill run time. So still quite a close matchup overall, but worked out pretty well. All right, Mew, also not a super common mon, but who knows, maybe after the cancel event, a lot more people will have Ultra League Mews as well. And they actually bring in a Shadow Suicune. Definitely a spicy pick for sure. I'm going to chip away at it with my Umbreon first, just because it is a little bit on the bulkier end, I think. But plus, my backline mons don't have the best matchups against it. So I'm going to let this go. Hopefully it's not a Hydro Pump. I didn't really count very well in that moment, and it ended up just being icing, which is good. And then here comes a Mew. Obviously Flame Charge here would be really bad, but Wild Charge or Surf should also do quite a bit of damage at this point. They choose not to shield, which makes sense because there's no way it could have been Mega Horn, but I definitely wanted to throw my move before I get to a potential Mega Horn, because then they might be able to take me out before I can do any damage, right? Alright, so now I have my Umbreon. They actually shield it, which is interesting, and I get to another Foul Play. This is huge. Let's see if I can pull both shields, and I do. So at this point, I think I'm just going to let this move go. Might be a Focus Blast, and it is, and that's fine. I have my Melmetal in the back. The biggest thing I have to worry about here is maybe a Swampert. But they throw another Flame Charge, and I'm going to throw my Rock Slide right here and take it out. Let's see what they have in the back here. And it's going to be an Abomasnow, so my opponent is going to see the match right there. Because most people are actually playing Ultra League Premier, I actually had a lot of trouble finding matches. So I'm pulling two specific matches from my Patrons Only stream as well that you can see. And this is against a Charizard as well as a Poliwrath. I honestly thought I was like just going to do like 5 battles today and just talk to you all because, yeah. But, alright, this is very good. Charizard lead, we want to stay here. See if it's Dragon Breath or not. Okay, it's Dragon Breath. Let's see if they go for it. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Is this me? I don't know. I think it's both of us. Alright, I really want to shield a Blast Room, but maybe I'll just tank the first one. I don't know. I always like kind of... A lot of people know that people shield the first one often, so they only throw Dragon Claw first. But this is really good for me. I might just shield. Just preserve this matchup. Let's see if they shield or not. They do shield. Okay. Are they this scared of a... Actually, let's not shield. Let's see what happens. Yes, there we go. That's what we want to see. I do like to see that. What are they running in the back? Like, even Giratina at this point is not too scary. I think, we're gonna shield this one and then just farm down. Oh my gosh, another Giant Claw? What the heck? Oh, that might have been bad. Do I survive a Blast Burn here? Oh wait, another Giant Claw? Yeah, I don't know my dragon. What are they coming in with? Snorlax. Interesting. Snorlax, I think I'm going to charge up to another Foul Play. And then dip. Because my guess is they have a Cress, maybe? This is actually not a great swap. Because they might come in and just superpower me here, but I'm going to save my shield. They don't have a Togekiss in the back, otherwise they would have came in with it. Yeah, this is going to be superpower. That's fine. Giratina. Okay, that makes sense. This is not going to be great for me, to be honest, because my Umbreon is quite low. I think the play is just throw as many Foul Plays as I can against this thing. And then try to sweep it Scav. Oh man, Scav is going to be rough, though. Maybe I should have brought in a Scav here. Yeah, that superpower does. It's a little bit rough. Get another one? Yes. Alright. Good, good, good. Let's see here. They're gonna throw a move here. Yep. Let's hope this is a Dragon Claw. That'd be huge. And then we're gonna come in Umbreon, drop the Foul Play. Yes. There we go. I'm not too worried even if they bring in Snorlax. They'll get a lot of energy, which won't be great, but at the same time... Oh, the shield. Nice. I don't know. This is going to be close. They're probably going to try to bait me with a Body Slam too. So that's the unfortunate part, but they're going to have a lot of energy on the Snorlax, which is scary. Alright. What's the play here? I think we just call the bait. Actually, this might be a double superpower. Let's call it. See what happens. Oh no! All right, that's not good. I have to shield this one. All right. I think I'll lose this one. There's no way that I get to. I need, I think, 2 drill runs. I'll just see what happens though. It was a good game though. I guess maybe the play is I shield the oh. You get timeout? Yeah, no, that's GG's. Well played, well played. Maybe I should have shielded the Melmetal? I don't know. Oh, they go Dragon Claw? What? Oh my gosh, what? Oh, I did not think that was gonna work. Wow, what a game. What a game. What a great way to start off the day too. 3-0 so far. Yeah, for those that played that game, you know it's an old school game. I've never played a game as long as I have with that. Ooh, Poliwrath. Okay. Again, not a very common mon we see, but let's see how we do here. The good news is they have to throw charge moves here to stand a chance. If they have a Giratina back, I'm in trouble. Let's just hope they don't. Let's hope they have 2 Giratina counters actually. It's more likely. Yeah, I gotta let this go. I'm just gonna come with a Scav and just like try to take it out as much as possible. Dynamic Punch makes sense. There's another one maybe. Yep. I don't think I survived this, but I need to let it go. I need the Scav to do as much damage as possible here. Oh, that's actually not good because they could farm quite a bit now. Ooh, what's the play here? Maybe I just go into a Scav. If I'm predicting this line right, they're going to stay in. It's got to be a Dynamic Punch, right? Yeah. They stay in? Yep. All right, this is good. Likely, this means that they're probably weak to Steel in the back because they haven't swapped out yet. This is why like this team seems like awful against fighters, but it's not really that bad. Oh, they don't swap out. Interesting. Why? What do they have in the back? Cress would not be fun because I'm not running Megahorn on mine. What? The heck? Yeah, weird. Very strange. Are they running double steals? They might be. If I have to guess. Oh, wait, what? What does this even know? Focus Blast, I assume? I need to shield this. Earthquake. Interesting. Did I survive that? Yeah, I did. Oh, I have a decent amount of health left, actually. Yeah, that Earthquake didn't do as much as I thought it would. I guess for neutral, it's not too bad. And it's non-stab from Registeel. Oh, Regice. Is this double Reggie in the back? Might be double Reggie in the back. I had to shield this. It's gonna do a decent amount of damage. Yeah, another Earthquake. What the heck? Yep, double Reggie. So the good news here is I actually do survive a Focus Blast. So I'm going to let this go, and then I'm going to drop my superpowers. If you throw the superpower beforehand, you lose. Yep, see it right there? Good. Now I can throw 2 superpowers right here. Just shield 1. That's fine. Show another. The other throw here. I don't know if that's a good play or not. I think I still have to throw 2 superpowers here, which is unfortunate. But they throw a flash cannon. Maybe I should drop 2 Escav sooner. That way I could chip away at the Reggie. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I'm not in a terrible spot actually now that I think about it, but I do think I still need 2 superpowers. Oh gosh, I'm super low. I don't think I get to this next one in time, do I? I have like 2 health left. Wow. There we go. There we go. Again, like I said, fighter leads really not that bad because they're probably weak to it in the back. This team, I'm telling you, a lot of fun to play. That's pretty much how I climbed up to the 3400s. This team might take a little bit getting used to, but I think it's honestly one of my most reliable teams so far to date. A big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like to get additional strategies or early access to some of my lines, feel free to sign up through the link down below. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe for future content. Hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll see you all next time.